But folks, we're up live on Facebook. We're recording the next session up, and the perfect segue out of Doyle's session into Scotty's, I think, was talking about expeditions and journeys. You know, Scotty's an expert in journeys and things like captivating one-liners and giving people an experience. So the Scott experience is about to hit us. Scott Cundill, sponsor of the 4As Chamber, which we're part of, and appreciative of that. And Scotty's also sponsoring the Zoom session in many ways. So Scotty, absolutely appreciate your support and your backup to everything that we're doing, and love to have you on our sessions, because there's always high energy, there's always excitement and interest. And I hope you haven't got too laid back in Bali there, living in paradise, you know, just putting your feet up and going to the beach every day and and those things like that. So, you know,
pretty relaxed. Sorry, you said high energy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, switching between the Australian accent and the Bali lifestyle, you never know where you're going to go with Scott Cundill. So you just got to sit back and wait for the wave to hit you. You know, no tsunamis at the moment, I hope. But
well, well done to you guys, hey, at the chamber. I mean, you guys have pivoted with extraordinary speed and precision, and well done, everybody, because that's really, really. I mean, it's actually quite phenomenal to see how you guys have created stuff, started pioneering new things, moving in different directions. So yeah, well done. I mean, it's starting to really come together, and I think you guys are leaders in that field. And yeah, it's always great, and it's always great to be part of Wisdoms. I mean, you guys have been around for a very, very long time, doing phenomenal work for everybody. And yeah, you know, I want to start off by really talking about, like, Bali is a digital nomad heaven, Mecca. So for you guys, I'm sure you guys have heard of the term digital nomad. Just shake your head if you've never heard of the term digital nomad. No, you guys haven't, eh? So what a digital nomad is somebody that is able to work remotely and works in different countries around the world. So you get, and there's a few places like Croatia, Barbados. They're usually tropical islands, Bali, beautiful places to live. And you can actually live and work as a digital nomad from a place like Bali. So because we have clients around the world, still quite a few people in South Africa, but generally in international business, it allows us to work and work remotely. So digital nomad is somebody who goes around the world and lives the life of Riley, an incredible place. And it's beautiful and amazing. And it's just like, this is how we want to live. Now, up until about 3 or 4 months ago, we were a little known species, because it was known amongst people with the kind of digital agencies, social media companies, copywriters, developers. You had this concept where you could live and work remotely. Now, as COVID hits, people have suddenly realized and gone, hang on a second, I used to think I needed to work in front of people physically. But now, thanks to Zoom, I don't have to do that. And what you guys have put together here is testimony to that, because how many people here are not in Joburg right now? Pretty much all the speakers, right? Ben, you're not in, where are you based, Ben? Are you in the UK? Where are you based?
I'm in the UK, yeah.
In the UK, yeah. So you got Ben in the UK. We've just had Doyle in Perth. I'm in Bali, and I know the rest of the speakers are all over the place. So that means that we're starting to become a wonderful global mix of people. And I know that you guys have been working pretty closely through Mark Jarrett, etc., through the UK. And you've started to create this incredible international experience. Now, I think what has changed, and I would like to hear from each of you guys, is a monumental mindset shift between the fact that we no longer have to be tied into our own countries and our own geographic location in order to become successful. The difference is that are we able to unleash and shift our mindset to not having to be in that particular country? Are we able to look at ourselves and go, well, I no longer need to physically have coffee with somebody in order to do business with them? And how are we feeling about that? And I'd like to hear from you guys as to how that feels, because we've got an eclectic mix. We've got an international group of people here, but how do we go about building our business overseas? So let me ask you something. Who does not have a business who's on this right now, just out of this little group, who cannot go overseas? Is anybody who can't do it physically? They can't go into other countries. And that includes the people overseas. Anyone? You can just chuck something in the chat there if you feel.
No, so it looks like
So you can all go internationally, right?
Yeah, Pepe's or anyone, I think, who's saying RedX, I presume, means she can't.
Why? What business did they have?
Training, I think Pepe was in Lee. Was that right? Pepe, are you there?
Pepe says no, that was a previous question. So Pepe probably can as well. So what we're seeing here is this ability to go international. And I've become really vocal lately since COVID hit. I used to be very diplomatic. And I was very like, oh, yes, try this marketing initiative. Yes, try that marketing initiative. Try do this, try that. You know, get yourself out there, have a conversation, enjoy it. We don't really have that luxury anymore. So what I always tell people, and I've just literally just finished the last day, almost the last day of a course with about 150 people on it through the Lion's Den, specifically on how to actually build your sales pipeline, predominantly using LinkedIn. And I always go back to the basics. And I always say to these people, do you know your 3 numbers? And if you don't know these 3 numbers, then honestly, don't be in business. Just find something else to do with your life. Because if you do not know what these 3 numbers are, you have a monumental problem. And that problem is that you don't know what your goals are. You're going to be faffing around doing silly things like posting articles 2 or 3 times a week, hoping someone reads them, and getting really excited if you've got 2 likes and a share. You know, you can't carry on like this, guys. You can't carry on faffing about. If it doesn't specifically focus on these 3 numbers, you are wasting your time. And I'm sure Doyle, from a digital marketing perspective, will agree with me. And sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth here, Doyle, but he'll basically say that if you're not measuring those results that you're doing online, you aren't going to get anywhere. The days of just messing around and wasting so much time on silly stuff in your business and actual specific measurable results for those 3 numbers, you're going to be completely, you're going to get eaten alive, guys. So what are those 3 numbers? What are those 3 numbers? The top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, and the bottom of the funnel. If you don't know what a funnel is, then you're in bigger trouble than we ever imagined. Those 3 numbers, the top of your funnel, the middle of your funnel, and the bottom of your funnel. Okay, what is the bottom of the funnel? How many customers do you need in the next 6 to 12 months to make you happy? Not millionaires, not billionaires. I know that Trevor talks about his 1 million people at $1 a month. All right, that's great. That's going to make everybody a millionaire. But how many do you need to be nicely successful and comfortable? What is that number? That is the question you've got to answer. In 6 to 12 months, this is the number of customers that I need. You need to answer that immediately, like literally go, bang, have that answer in front of you. Because if you don't, you don't know that bottom number, the middle number and the top number are going to make no sense whatsoever. So it's going back to basics. How many do you need? And if you're watching this on Facebook or you're watching this wherever you are right now, you need to know that number. Bang. So for those of you guys on right now, out of interest, just quickly post in the chat. What is that? What is that number? I know Lee knows. 50, Stella. Well done. Stella, you get a prize for being first to type in. Who else is typing? Yes, Doyle, no more faffing. I agree. Tubby says 40. It's always around the same numbers. And sorry if you guys have heard my rant before, but I enjoy ranting. Anyone else want to quickly post theirs? 8 per month, 48 in 6 months. There we are, Ben. Perfect. Well done. Yes, I know. Trevor says 1 million. Oh, thanks, Trevor. You've just gone, no, you're still at 1 million. So in the next 6 to 12 months, Trevor's not going to budge from that 1 million, guys. Let's just accept that. Master says 10. So if you take Trevor's 1 million as an outlier, and you add 50 plus 40 plus 10 plus 48, and you divide that by 4 and get an average, you always get a number of around 30 to 40. And I've done this presentation over and over and over again. Now, if you have more than 100 in your number, and some of you do, if you need more than 100 customers, then you need to work on a reseller strategy and find people who know those people. So Trevor, it's very difficult to go and get 1 million customers yourself. However, If you find 1,000 people with 1,000 customers each, is that 1 million? Yes, 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. It makes your life easier. So you need to look at that reseller strategy. There, Lee, thank you. You said 30. Exactly. 30 is that number. I use 30 because it works. The numbers work really well. So Trevor's a bit of an outlier, but you need those 30 customers or 40 or 50. How do you work out what you need in the middle of the pipeline? You multiply that number by 5. Take that number and multiply it by 5. And that gives you the number of leads that you need in your pipeline to nurture. I know this is complicated, and I know I repeat this over and over again, and it frustrates a few people sometimes, but if you do not get this right, you are dead. So the question is, how are you going to feed that to get to your 150? Because most people do not have 150 high quality people in their pipeline right now. That's your middle of your funnel. Now you might be thinking, hang on a second, if I need 30 customers and I have 150 leads to nurture to convert 1 in 5, which gives me those 30 customers, that means I only need 150 good quality people. That's actually not that big a deal, right? It's not that big a deal to get 150 people in the middle of your sales funnel. Now, what I focus on is I focus on LinkedIn for my top of funnel. But there's other ways of doing top of funnel. You'll hear Trevor talk about click funnels, and you'll talk about Doyle with the digital marketing side of it. However, your marketing must feed those 3 numbers. So your 30 clients at the bottom mean you need 150 high quality people, not idiots. Life is too short for idiots. Okay, in a post-pandemic world, idiots are gone. I always say to people, never put crap into the app. No weirdos in your widget. Only the tight go on the right, whatever you want to call it. You need a list of 150 people, and they need to be supreme good quality people. If you spend your time nurturing those 150, building relationships with them, phone calls, LinkedIn messages, giving them content, sending them a gift, whatever you have to do to make those people love you, you need to nurture those 150 people. To get to those 150 people, you need 450 at the top, times that number by 3. So take your number at the bottom, multiply it by 5, and multiply it by 3, and you have your 3 magic numbers. Everything that you do from a marketing perspective must add value to that. Here's an example. There's a great group of people on this group right now. You go to a networking group. There's a great group of people on that networking group. You go to a physical networking event. Wherever you are, you get business cards, digital business cards. You take those business cards and you stick them in a drawer and you never touch them. That's the problem with networking. We don't do anything with them. What you've got to do is you've got to take those business cards, work out who the good quality people are. No, don't put crap in the app. The crap must go. You don't have time. You need to take good quality people, take those good quality people and start nurturing them. They will go into the middle of your pipeline, and now you have 1 more to add to the 150. See what we're doing here, guys. And what I want to talk about now is I'm going to talk to you about one of the coolest tricks you've ever heard in your entire life. I teach everyone this, called clustering, and how to actually take your middle of the funnel and expand it outwards. It's called clustering. If you cluster an idiot, you're going to get a cluster of idiots. So don't cluster idiots, cluster good quality people. So is this making sense, guys? You want 30 deals, you need 150 people to nurture, and in the top of the funnel, you need about 450 people to do that. Let's round it off to 500. That means you need to go and meet 500 people at networking events. You need to do 500 LinkedIn connections. You need to make 500 get referrals if necessary. Those 500 will convert to 150. The 150 will give you your 30 deals. Okay, those are your numbers, your magic numbers. Now, clustering is incredibly powerful. It is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Take a good quality lead. Now, I always work on LinkedIn, and I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to show you how to do this on LinkedIn. And hopefully you guys have all got the My Most Trusted app installed. If not, don't worry. The concept still applies. I'm going to punt my app because I'm allowed to punt. That's weird. I haven't got it open. Sorry, guys. Zoom's got this weird new sharing thing. It doesn't just share immediately. I've got to push a magic button first. Right. Okay. Now, let's go to LinkedIn. You don't need to have the app installed to do it. The app will make your life easier, and it's free anyway, so you guys can just install it if necessary. Here's what you do to create a cluster, is you find somebody who you already nurturing, a good quality individual. All right, it could be any company that you want. I'm going to show you a few from my app. If you don't have the app installed, don't worry. Just pick somebody who's a good quality individual from a company you want to get in touch with. Maybe it's Coca-Cola. Maybe it's a construction company. Think of a company you really, really, really want to do business with. You might have one contact in that company, right? So let me pick a few of them here. Under my sales tracking, I've got a guy from Australia. I've got this company, Ashcroft Instruments. I've got Tristan from a financial advising company. So these are all people I'm nurturing at the moment. All right. So let's try pick Chantel, for example, from Ashcroft Instruments. Hope this is making sense, guys, because this little trick is beautiful. I'm nurturing and working with Chantel at the moment. However, Chantel might not be the best person at this company, Ashcroft Instruments, to sell to. She's a manager. She's okay quality in terms of who I need to deal with. She's a lovely human being. We're getting on really well. I'm following her, but I need other people from Ashcroft Instruments, right? Now, the beauty about LinkedIn is it'll tell you who they are. So in this case, she's got a Protea Automation Solutions, which is probably connected to Ashcroft Instruments, but you want other people there. Who's put a little chat on there? Okay, so let's quickly go here, and I'm going to go to Protea Automation Solutions, and I can see who else works at Protea Automation Solutions. Look, Protea Electronics, which is actually the main head company, right, has got 42 employees. Chantel is one of those 42. So I check out those 42. Oh, the CEO, Gary Johnston. I am going to use my relationship with Chantel to get to the CEO and potentially other people as well. I'm going to name drop Chantel, and I'm going to target Gary. So I click connect and I connect with Gary. If you're using the app, it'll write the little intro message for you. If not, that's fine. What then happens is you go and you say, hi, Gary. I am currently speaking to Chantel Fisher. Chantel really liked the article I wrote, really feels that she's suffering from that your company has this particular pain point. So you reach out to her and you name drop Chantel with Gary. Send the LinkedIn invitation. What do you think Gary's going to do? Gary is now going to accept the LinkedIn connection. And now I have Gary as a LinkedIn connection, but I've name dropped Chantel. And I can do that not just to Gary, but all the other people as well. If Gary accepts my LinkedIn invitation, I can then name drop Gary because Gary's the CEO. Now I go to Douglas and I say, hey, Douglas, I've been speaking to Gary Johnston and Chantel Fisher, and they think that you have this problem. How do you feel about that problem? Are you suffering from this, et cetera, et cetera? Oh, yes, we are. You see what we're doing, guys? What you're doing is you're creating a cluster around this particular issue. And this little cluster effect is incredible because all you need is for them to get on their own Zoom conference, talk about their problem, and Chantel goes, you know, so-and-so, I actually just read this article by Scott Cundill about this problem. That's so interesting. The same thing happened to me. I also saw the same article. I also saw that. Oh, yes, that's right. And you've got all these different people. You've created this cluster, and now you're working your way through that company. So that is one little trick, one little tip that I can give you guys straight away to start building that process and help you build the middle of your funnel and start to grow the number of leads so that you can start converting them into business. So that little clustering effect works really well. Now, I use the app to track all of that, which we created, which I will type in here, mymosttrusted.net. Here's a punt for the app, mymosttrusted.net. And I'm running courses on this, and I'm showing people how to actually prospect using LinkedIn as a tool. But I'd like to hear from you guys. Have you done anything like this before in terms of clustering? Have you got any stories to tell me about how you've targeted more than one person? Let's make this a bit interactive. Who wants to jump in?
Well, Scotty, Stella thinks you're sneaky, so maybe you'd like to pick up on that one for name dropping.
There we are. I see Stella. Thank you. Yes. Is it sneaky to name drop? Well, let me ask you guys. What do you guys think? Who thinks it's sneaky? Who thinks it's not really a good thing, or who thinks it's a good thing? Lee, how do you feel?
So name dropping is basically the only way I've been able to get business. So because it's the only way I can gain trust is through somebody else. So if I'm going to introduce myself and Scott, I know you talk about being an expert. So I'm talking about my experience in terms of setting up new appointments with potential clients, is that I needed to know somebody they knew, so that they could say, so I could say to them, so-and-so recommended that I get in touch with you. And there are many instances, but there was one particular executive. I sat down with him, and as I sat down with him, I said to him, so, you know, what made you agree to meeting with me? Basically trying to say, well, what is your need? You know, what is it that appealed to you about the value proposition that I put into the email? And he said, I'm only meeting with you because I trust the man that recommended you. And exactly. He was willing to give me half an hour of his time for no other reason, nothing that I had to offer, other than the fact that he trusted the man that I had referred me to him.
Yeah, that is the essence of everything. And this is what I go through in so much detail, and I keep reiterating. Nobody cares about your product or service. They do not care. And if you can just learn to embrace that and live with that and love that, it will take you to a whole new level. It doesn't mean that they will not grow or learn to love your product or service later. But when they start off with, they don't care. The only thing they care about is, can I trust you? And if they don't trust you, you're going to go nowhere. And it is such a pivotal, important thing. Systems like BNI and Four-Ways Chamber and all the different chambers of commerce and these meeting groups, they are not successful because people come together and sell to each other in those events. They are successful because they build trust with each other over time, and that gives them the trusted they need to refer. And that trust takes a long time to build. That's what you're looking to do. So, Lee, you got in front of this person because of trust. If somebody trusts you, they will find a way to do business with you. They will actively seek out a reason to do business with you. If you go in there with a product, they will look for a reason not to do business with you. So when you're nurturing those 150 people, from the 450 becomes 150, becomes 30, your number one priority is to build your trust. And you build your trust by following my book, The Captivating Oneliner, and showing them that you understand your pain. Okay, so
we seem to have lost Scott for a second there. I don't know if Bali's fallen off the map or gone under the sea or something, but Ben, maybe you want to just pick up on what you've been doing with the app there while we wait for Scotty to come back.
Yeah, I just installed it and was floating around LinkedIn, seeing kind of the sections of the app and what it does, and just the ability that it seems to have to kind of keep track of who you're talking to and who you're connected with and who they're connected with is so powerful, because it just being able to hold all that in your head when you're talking to people and connecting with people. But actually, you know, just playing with it for 5 minutes, you can see how powerful it could be.
No, that's great, thanks. And Ben, while we got you online here, I mean, what's the culture guy have to say about name dropping? So I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that one.
I don't have a problem with name dropping. I think it's important that you have had a genuine conversation with somebody before you then, in my opinion, before you then go and say, I was having a conversation with this person and they mentioned you might be interested. You know, I wouldn't do it just off the back of a LinkedIn connection, but you know, the functionality in the tool allows you to have those conversations first. And you know, so actually in itself, business works by referrals. Like Lee said, all my business comes from people that have gone, you need to go and talk to Ben, or Ben, you need to go and talk to this person. So it is how business works. And I think, as long as you've had that conversation and you can say, well, I actually had a conversation with this person and they mentioned you. Yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back, Scotty.
Yeah, sorry guys, I lost thanks for jumping in there, Ben. I appreciate it. I lost internet connection there for a second. So Ben, what you're saying is pivotal to the process. So you're looking for an excuse to name drop. And this is the important thing. So what happens, right, is when you connect with somebody on LinkedIn, and Ben is right, you can't connect with someone on LinkedIn and go, hey, I just connected with your other guy, Simon. They're going to know that you're full of crap. When you connect with the first person and you do it following the technique, which is a captivating one-liner, all you do is say, I've written an article with this headline for your industry talking about your pain. I'd love to connect with you. Then they accept your connection and say, here's my article, right? Now you've given them an article. It's completely soft. Yes, your authenticity, Trevor, that's correct. It's an authentic. You're not selling them. You don't need to sell them. They can go onto your LinkedIn profile. They know what you do. You don't have to sell them anything. You need to show them that you understand their pain. And you say to them, I've written an article about this pain point. And the captivating one-liner is a powerful headline that goes, yes, I'm going to click. Then they get back to you and go, that's an interesting article. Or you're right, we have this pain, or we have this issue, or even a thumbs up or a thanks, a bit of a conversation. Now you can name drop. Because now you can find other people in their company, and now you go and you can say, I was chatting to Simon Smith. Simon thought my article was interesting. I thought I would share my article with you as well. Now you've got an excuse. You're using the captivating one-liner and the article and their pain to share with them. It's completely soft. That's how you name drop. Do you see the difference, guys? Now you're not name dropping to say, hi, I know this guy, therefore I can introduce you to this lady. You're saying, I wrote this article about a pain that your industry is going through. Your colleague, Simon, and I were chatting about it on LinkedIn, so I thought I would now share it with you. All you got to do. See the difference, guys? Now you can start the process, and that creates a cluster. I've literally done, 4 or 5 training sessions on clients literally in the last 3 days, specifically showing them how to create those clusters once you're starting to get the ball rolling. But going through that process with the captivating one-liner is so important. Out of interest, has anyone here done a captivating one-liner? Thanks, Ivan's just posted the link to my book. It's a free ebook, and you don't even have to fill out a form to download the ebook. That's right, folks. When you click download my ebook, it doesn't pop up a flipping pop-up going, give us your name, email address, and all your personal details to fill it out. It just downloads the ebook straight away. You don't have to fill out a form. Oh my gosh, what a revolutionary idea. Does anybody have, has anyone done a captivating one-liner? I think, Trevor, we're going to have to sit down and do one for all your wisdom guys at some point. Let's do a captivating one-liner workshop for you guys.
Yeah, we try to get Trevor to do a captivating one-liner and turn into 3 pages of copy, so it was a bit difficult.
Thanks, Stella. I want to show, well, I don't know, it doesn't look like anyone's got one. If you haven't got one in the chat, yes, Lee?
Scott, I had those ones that you and I kind of played with. And the only reason why I didn't want to put my hand up is because I've got as far as the liner. I haven't got as far as the article. But
that's okay.
But the one liner goes, working moms, you thought you were juggling enough balls before homeschooling got added.
Brilliant. See, that's great. Let's break that down. Working moms, you thought you were juggling enough balls before homeschool. What is it? Homeschool was added.
Homeschooling was added.
Was added, yes. Look what Lee's done. She's taken a working mom as a target audience. She's not talking about what Lee is selling. Lee, I don't even know what you're selling right now. The captivating one-liner doesn't reveal it. Why? Because nobody cares. Okay. What you've done is you've said, Mom, I understand your pain. And you've written an article about it, which shows that you've done research, you get it, and you understand it. I know you haven't written an article yet, Lee, but you will. Now what you've done is you go to those moms, you can find them on LinkedIn, and you can get a good idea if they're moms or not. Look for kind of around the right age, look at their photograph. You could even say working moms in construction, or working moms in finance, or working mom. I would even recommend you go a step further and pick an industry. Remember the numbers: 450 becomes 150 becomes 30. You only need to invite and meet 450 people to get your deals. That's all. 450. There are way more than 450 working moms in the financial services industry just in South Africa on LinkedIn right now. You don't need to look anywhere else for business, Lee. It's right there. Focus on a tight niche. You only need those 450 people. So you go to them, and these moms are going, wow, Lee understands my industry, finance, if that's what you choose to go with. She understands that I'm a mom. She understands the pressure I'm under. She understands homeschooling. She gets me. I think I'm going to click and I'm going to read her article. What has that done? It's given Lee a good impression for this individual. Now, the prospect has a good first impression of Lee. And that's what we're doing, guys. You're in the business of first impressions. Whatever business you're in the business of first impression. So you must, yes, again, Trevor, focus on that tight niche, all right? And know that you're in the business of first impressions. Hit them with a captivating one-liner. Ask them if they would like to read it. Let them read your article. If they read your article, now you can follow up. You've got an excuse. You've got an excuse to start a conversation. You've got an excuse to create a cluster. And you've got ammunition in the form of an article. Another thing you can do, Ivan, this could be a great idea for what you guys could do as part of the chamber. Do a 12-minute video interview where Ivan or Trevor can interview Lee on the problem that moms are currently facing with homeschooling. Let him do it on Zoom like this, a 12-minute interview where you're giving your insight into this problem. Now you take that 12-minute video, you put it onto YouTube. You've got a video around your captivating one-liner, which you can now use as ammunition to get to those moms on LinkedIn or social media or wherever. Do you see what we're doing? Now those moms can go, cool, I'm going to click on this link, and they get to watch a short video of you talking with authority about that subject on their pain. You're building credibility. You're building trust. You're not selling your product or service. Do you see how it all starts coming together? I'm going to show you another captivating one-liner. So you see how Lee's captivating one-liner was not a sales pitch. It leads to something bigger. An article or even a video interview. And honestly, Ivan, I think that's a great idea to do those video interviews. Hey? Yeah, quick, easy. A lot of people don't like writing. So same captivating one-liner as a, What do you think?
No, I think it's a great idea. And it's something we've already started working on. I mean, Lee's been interviewing authors, for example. So she's actually started a process of interviewing authors. We're doing the Wisdoms chats, which are recordings every day, but I mean, those are a bit longer. So, I think that fits 100% in line. I see Ben and Stella have put some captivating one-liners in the chat there. Maybe you want to have a look at those quickly.
Okay, so imagine one of your employees comes to work organized, excited, bringing their A game, going the extra mile, hitting deadlines. How would that change your organization? So Ben, with a captivating one-liner, and you're new to this, so I understand I'm quite like rigid, ruthless when it comes to these. The first thing you want to do is not ask a question. There are certain times when you can ask a question in a captivating one-liner, but very rare. Make a statement. If you're asking a question, the answer could be no, they don't. No, you are an expert on their level. In fact, you are higher than them. You know your niche better than they know theirs. That's why they need you. You need to come in with a bold statement like Lee did. Lee made a statement to those moms. Moms, if you think you had a problem before with juggling balls before COVID, now homeschool comes along, you're in bigger shit than you ever realized. That is a powerful statement that can only be said by somebody that knows what they are talking about. So the first thing you want to do is you want to remove those words. Also, remove words like imagine and talk about their pain and say to them, if your employees, and try be specific in an industry, Ben, if your financial advisors, employees, or your construction workers. If your construction workers, bad example, are not coming to work energized, excited, and bringing their A game, your company is not going. Your company could be the 2 and 3 that will fail in the next year. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to hit them with something that flipping clobbers them over the back of the neck, back of the head. That captivating one-liner has got to smash them. So see the difference. Stella says, HR managers, don't let your lockdown employees. Stella, try not to say don't or anything. Try not to tell them what to do. Make a statement about their problem. So you're dead right with your HR managers. You can go into HR managers in a particular industry as well. HR managers, don't let your lockdown employees be unproductive due to being locked up in unhappy relationships. So Stella, you're close. You're very close, but you just need to tighten it up a bit. But your HR managers, your employees are in unhappy relationships. If they don't sort their unhappy relationships out, they will tear your company down from the inside, and they will take down other employees with them. Do you hear what you're saying? Yeah, bang, you've got to hit it really hard. So you see what we're having. I always love bringing up Trevor Kettler. Is he on this meeting today? Trevor Kettler and I came up with one of the best captivating one-liners, and he never uses it. And Trevor, if you ever watch this, you need another smack. And I always love giving you a smack of this. This is flipping genius. And we came up with this together. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a captivating one-liner. Engineers, if you don't know what 4IR stands for, then shut down your business. That is a flippant captivating one-liner. Now you go out on LinkedIn and you target engineers and you say, hey, you're an owner of an engineering company. I've just written an article called Engineers. If you don't know what 4IR stands for, then shut down your business. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn and share it with you. They accept the LinkedIn connection, and then you send the link to the article as a follow-up message. Then you go and create a cluster with other engineers in that company, or the CEO or the owner, and say, I've just been dealing with your engineer, Simon, who just read my article called Engineers. If you don't know what 4IR stands for, then shut down your business. I would like to share it with you as well. This is power, guys. It's flipping awesome. And then he wrote the article. Look, we know that lady. This is a phenomenal, captivating one-liner, guys. You need to use this article. Is it long? Yes, it's fine if it's long. It shows you've done your research, etc., etc. The article is not there to sell your business. Your article is there to give you a conversation and build trust so you can get in the door and sell. This is awesome, guys. And I hope you guys can resurrect this, because it's a phenomenal little piece of work, which for me is a wonderful arrow in the quiver that you guys aren't using. I'd like to hear from you guys. Lee, what do you think? I mean, you co-authored that. I mean, how do you guys feel?
Yeah, Scott, I mean, I really appreciate you bringing it up, because we did the work. I mean, you and Trevor worked on that one-liner, and then Trevor and I worked on the article, and that was a collaboration. Came out of the chamber. So, you know, it's another example of trying to expand your business, trying to expand your opportunities. And also, you know, Trevor and I are both in the training and development game. So you could think of yourselves as being in competition. So what we actually decided is to combine our IP, to combine, we reckoned that between his IP and my IP, we had enough on 4IR, and we could research, you know, what needed to fill in the gap. So the product, as you say, the product was going to make itself. We needed to position ourselves in a fresh way in the new market. What we have not done is and actually it's only, I'll be honest with you, it's only just clicked for me, this idea of clustering. I think this going for an industry and they're not really feeling that I know that industry. But actually, it's not about the industry, it's about the people. And I think that's just what's clicked for me, is that to build this clustering relationship from within a particular industry. So thanks for that. Yeah.
No, agreed. I mean, that was, again, a good piece of work. And one thing that that if there's one thing that hurts my feelings, is that if we do great work and you've got a good tool and then you don't use it, you've built the engine and then it wasn't followed through. And I'm not blame. It's not about blame or anything. So guys, there are 3 steps to sales in the most simplified way. You've got to find the people you want to do business with. That is step 1. That is the easiest thing in the world. Between social media done correctly and LinkedIn, you will find those people. I've already shown you the 450 becomes 150 becomes 30. You could only use LinkedIn if you wanted to and find those people. There it is. The people you want to do business with, they are right there. So tick, big box, easy. The 3rd step is getting in front of them and closing the deal. Nobody can help you with that except trainers and coaches who teach sales training and coaching. But at the end of the day, you have to do that bit. No one can force you to do that. That is completely and utterly up to you. The middle bit, which is the nurturing, with the app, with the technique, with the tools I can give you, we can help you get to about 70% of the way of the nurturing. But you have to go the extra 30% and then sit in front of the clients and close them. No one else can do that for you. So with that article you guys did with Trevor and with these captivative one-liners we're working on, you can do the video, you can do the article, you can do your LinkedIn connections, you can follow the process. But if you do not finish off by getting your diligent sales pipeline in place, doing your follow-ups every couple of weeks, are you still suffering from this problem? Should we have a conversation? Let's get together for coffee. Do the clustering, chat to other people in the organization. When can I come and see you? Shall we get on a phone call? They're constant. Then you're going to get all the way up to here, and then it's going to die. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on how do we get motivated to do that last 30% so that we can get in front of clients and close deals.
Great, thanks, Scotty. I think some great questions there, as well as some great answers in the process. So I see Doyle's been sitting there with a very furrowed brow for some of this. So Doyle, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what Scotty's tossed into the mix here.
Oh, I love Scott's model. It's really cool, and we've tried something, a precursor to that, and Scott said no, you need to do it this way, and I totally agree. Like what he's set up is fantastic, and I've been keeping notes too, so I'm learning. That's why I have a furrowed brow. It's always good to learn.
Yeah. And then Doyle, it's about plugging in the digital, because we're not an agency. We don't do any of the digital stuff that you do. The captivating one-liner gets written, you've got some content, and then if there was a way that you could take your social media and you could plug in and start creating leads based on who's interested in that industry and get them hooked in, you're now feeding your funnel. And if it's feeding your funnel, it's good. If it's just fluff and getting our brand name out there for the sake of it, it's wasting time. And this is what I'm trying to get in front of. Ask yourself a question. Would you rather spend time, effort, money on looking good, looking great, looking amazing, looking credible, looking reputable to 150 high quality people who you know you can potentially convert into customers? Or would you rather have 50,000 Facebook likes? Which one would you choose?
Yeah, I think that's a simple,
interesting question, hey?
Question, isn't it? Yeah.
It's
and
got
I
to
have
feed the
both.
Yes, you can have both, Lee. You can. But which comes first?
Comes first. Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering. I'm gonna do what I normally come for. Lala. Let's come across to you. I was gonna pick on someone else, but go for it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I messed up your plan there.
Not at all.
Scott, great to hear from you. I've got one question, and I'm also just trying to clarify whether I heard you right. Did I hear you make a proposition that you can take someone who's in here and help them through this process of one-liner? Did I hear you right?
One-liner. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think we should put together a little captivating one-liner session, guys. And you guys can I'll give you some homework to do. You guys can come up with your one-liner, just like Ben did just now. So Ben came up with a one-liner. It will probably need work. Ben's was a good start, but it needed work. Stella's was close, needed work. And I will critique the heck out of it with you guys right here and nail it. The secret, and Polelo, the secret about this whole thing is you need to pick a industry or a job title or both.
Absolutely.
That is the key. You need to have the guts in your business. And in this particular marketing initiative, you know what? I'm only going to go after school teachers. I'm only going to go after working moms in finance. I'm only going to go. It's the most difficult thing for a small business to do. You have to do it. If you can work out what that is up front, when we do the Captivating One-Liner workshop together, we will knock it out of the park. That I can promise you.
Look, personally, I would take you up on that. But also the exciting part is that it's taking me back to, Also the exciting part is that it's taking me back to my advertising days, because I used to work as a strategist. So one of my responsibilities was those one-liners that you use for products. So it's taking me back there. The question, talking about name dropping, I'm just taking it a little bit back. I do agree that even for myself, mostly it's been somebody saying, talk to this guy, and that's how it get work. I've had an experience though, and I'd like to see what you make of that, where I then spoke to someone and said, the CEO sent me to you because he thought you were the right person I could speak to. And the attitude was, oh, so you went over my head and went to the person that I report to. You know, that's the approach they took, that I went over them. And because I did that, I think I'm going to get my way with them. You know, I don't know if you've had such experiences, and how do you handle and deal with that?
Absolutely. You are 100% correct. That is a major problem with conventional going over the top. Does anyone, from what I've said so far, want to take a stab at what the answer to Umpolelo's issue is based on what I've said? Who's got the answer? Anyone want to?
Well, I think it comes back to that whole trust thing, isn't it, Scotty? So it's the fact that you've built a relationship with that person that this actually becomes a referral when the name dropping has. So you know, you're not being seen as actually bypassing the chain of command, as it were.
Yes, but what is the technique? That's correct, 100%. But what's the technique that you use? How do you go above someone's head without making that person feel that they've been stepped on?
Well, you name drop and you say, you know, this. You actually refer to them. Okay, Trevor says, I'm gonna stop. Okay, so Trevor, stop.
Man, I heard Ivan Anderson he said something so fantastic. Oh, by the way, at Ivan Anderson said something so fantastic that has stuck in my head forever and a day. This is what at Ivan Anderson said that I really enjoyed. In other words, I'm just trying to elevate him as someone who's authentically given me some great words of wisdom, but I've name dropped him.
There we are. So Trevor's just name dropped you to everyone else using that technique. Yeah. So basically, yeah, Trevor, you're 100% correct. Make the other person look really good. And that's an excellent idea.
However, I've also seen Trevor Carty on a golf course. So does that count as no? But I'll stop now.
So Trevor, you name drop and talk about how good that person is to the senior person. Yes. And what's your little secret? What do you use to as you're in to that person? Who's got the answer? I went through it earlier.
An article.
There we go. Ben nailed it. Ivan loved my article, having an amazing chat with him. He really said had some phenomenal feedback about the problem that you guys are facing in your organization. He really seems on the ball. Thought it would be good if I just shared this article with you. Boom. Name dropping plus article plus edification. For those of you who are into Amway, boosting up that person, put those together in one little message. That's all you need. Hey, Trevor?
Yeah, Scott, I just want to say it strikes me that we've got to have a training program for 50 to 100 people over a couple of hours, a 4 to 5 hour online session like this, just on this.
Yeah. Trevor, what I've just finished now with the Lion's Den is a 30-minute a day for 2-week session.
Fantastic.
It's a different approach. I do 30 minutes every day because what happens is, you know me, I talk fast and some people are behind. And what they can do is they take the recording and they watch it again afterwards and they catch up for the day. And then the next day they're right on top of things. They got another half an hour and we do half an hour every day for 2 weeks. At the end of the 2 weeks, I just finished today. They've got the leads coming in. It's in the app. It's all done and dusted. I'll be more than happy to do that with you guys if you're keen.
Fantastic. Thanks, Scotty. Appreciate that. And I'd just like to say a formal hi to BJ all the way from Iowa this morning. So great to have you on board, BJ. We're looking forward to our session a bit later, but I also see she's put in a thing in the chat box, Scotty, that you might want to comment on. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. That could be an interesting one.
Yeah, she said, in my experience, it has never failed me. Who do you know might be interested in? You can use name dropping or whatever field, suggest articles, books, exactly. So once again, she's mentioned the articles and books. Think about nature. What do we talk about? We don't naturally talk about stuff that's in it for us. If we're with other people in our lives, we talk about something that's interesting to both of us. So we talk about, what did we think of Game of Thrones? We've talked about what do we think of whatever politician did in whatever way. We talk about whatever happened, the latest book. Oh, I just read this interesting book. Oh, that sounds interesting. We talk about these third-party objects and things. So what we're saying is, why don't you become the author of that third-party thing that you both talk about, and you write that third-party thing, or you make a video on that third-party thing, which is specifically designed to talk about the pain that person is going through. That simple. So yeah, thank you, BJ. Is that a photograph, BJ? Or are you literally stuck like that and not moving? Oh, you were like, I was wondering, you're like Rodkin's thinker. Cool, guys. Well, it's 8 minutes to go. Does anyone need a toilet break? Anything else? Ivan, how's that? Good timing.
Yeah, look, I think we're basically almost at the top of the hour. So yeah.